Queen of the stitch, my girl Dane.
Hello there, my crafty knitters. Welcome back to the Knitted Oaks channel. Before you is 20 casted on stitches I have on a needle with 2 strands of yarn held together. 2 contrasting colors at that. So one yellow, one blue, as you can see. And what I'll be showing you how to do today is the double knitting technique. Double knitting features the stockinette stitch, which is all knitting every row. But what's unique about double knitting is that it shows you stockinette on both sides of your work. But one side will be all one color, which could be all blue, and the opposite side will be all yellow. Okay, so let's begin. Now for this, you can cast on as many stitches as you desire. You don't have to do as many as I did. I'm going to show you here how to do this. Hold on one second. Okay, so the first stitch and the last stitch of every row, you're just going to knit as though it's one stitch. Okay, and now, apologize about my phone, and now what you're going to do is you're going to determine which color you want to be on your right side, which is what we're working on now, and what you want to be on your other side. Since yellow is standing out front, I'm going to go ahead and choose yellow. So I'm just going to separate the 2 stitches and knit only the yellow, and I'm only going to use the yellow from my 2 strands of yarn that I'm holding together, and I'm going to knit that. Okay, then I bring the yarn, the 2 strands back over, and I'm just going to purl the opposite color. Okay, now only using the opposite color. And the reason why I'm saying opposite color is because I don't want you guys to feel like you have to use what I'm using. You can use any 2 colors you want. Just understand that with the first color you knit, the second color you purl. And that's what you're going to do. Oh, okay. So before I say that, now you might have cast it on and realized that now you have a blue. You just did blue, so you can't do blue again because it'll mess up the pattern. So what you do is, a trick that I use is you slip it off and merely turn it around. So now that yellow's in front. It might feel a little awkward at first, but you only have to do this for this first initial row. After this, everything will be in place as it ought to be. So then you take the yellow again and you just knit. Oops. Okay. And you're just going to continue this till you get to your last stitch. So I will see you there. Okay, so now we're down to the end of our row and we have 1 stitch left, and instead of separating the 2 as you did throughout the row, you're just going to go ahead and knit that together. Why? Because that forms your border on both ends to just do that. Okay, so now you should be able to start to see that one of your colors is showing up more on this side of your work, and it will start to look neater as you go higher, as you go further up in your work, and the other side is going to show more color than the other. Okay, so for row 2, you're going to go ahead and do the same. Knit that first stitch together. Okay, and now the blue is in front. So for this side, you're going to be knitting the blue, which was your secondary color on your first row, and you're going to be purling the color that you were doing before. Your main color on the opposite side is now your secondary color on your second row. I hope that makes sense. Basically, you just switch what you did on the first row on the second row. Whatever color you were purling on the first row, you knit on the second row, and the color that you were knitting, you purling. Okay, so you're just going to continue to do this until you get to the bottom of your row. So I will see you there. Alright, so I'm back down to the last stitch on my second row, and like we did before, you just knit that as you would. Okay, so now, even more prevalent than before, you see that this is all blue. Okay, and if you turn your work over, it should be all your other color. And that's basically what double knitting is. So I'm going to knit up a few more rows and then I'll show you how to close. Okay there, this is after a couple of rows. I've just decided to stop here because this is only a swatch for you guys, so I didn't want to go any higher. But if you notice that doing the double knitting technique is a little bit more time consuming than I'm used to. So I don't know what project I would actually personally use this for, but it is a gorgeous technique because it's unique. I think a scarf would be nice, a plain scarf, maybe this width also, but as you can also see why we had to knit the first and last stitch, because there's that uniformity of a nice border. And now I'm going to show you how to bind off the top, and it's really, really simple. You just instead of going individually with the stitches, you're just gonna go ahead and knit everything now back together as one stitch. Okay, and let me do this here, and just pull that first stitch over the second stitch, and you're just going to continue to bind off as you would. I have a video on teaching you how to bind off. I will post it in the description box, but just for further demonstration, I'm going to take this first stitch and wrap it over the second one. I don't know if you saw that from my long claws. Let me do that again. Okay, so instead of going the single stitches, as you notice, I'm going through the back here of each stitch as of the two stitches together, a clump of two stitches together. Okay, you just knit that as you would, and what you do is you take this stitch and you go ahead, I'm going to try to get my nail out the way, and just go ahead and pull it over. So always pull, and as you can see, starting to wrap off. Okay, so I'm going to do this and be right back. Okay, so here is the finished product. Put these down. Here's the finished product. Our cute little cube. You know, it's really adorable. It's different. It's as you can see, the stockinette stitch, as I described earlier, is featured on both sides, and it's amazing because the pearls are all on the inside of this little double tunic here. I actually did one swatch, a bigger swatch before. This was months ago when I was first trying it out myself, and I did it with red and brown. I was still in that wintry phase. It is with the border, just in case you wanted to see a bigger swatch. I did not want to do a tutorial with these dark color yarns, which is why I went ahead and did this one just for the sake of the video. But here is a bigger swatch. The border again, this is the bind off using the two stitches together. So that's pretty much it. It's really a unique, and I tend to enjoy, let me see, I tend to enjoy the darker sides more than the lighter sides, because this is the second time that I've done this. And you know, the yellow, I don't know, I think the lighter sides just show you more flaws, you know what I'm saying? Like, whereas on the blue, there might be the same exact flaws, but they're hidden because the yarn is a little darker. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Stay tuned for more colorwork techniques from us, and yeah, thank you so much for watching and supporting our videos thus far. Stay blessed. I will see you in my next video, and remember, knitting is sexy. Bye.
So hit up the web, stock up your pile so you can keep your body warm and start your day with a smile.